Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. The Knicks will face off versus the Charlotte Hornets tonight. And we're going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this will be I don't know if it's going to be a break from everything that happened with Kobe Bryant and his family and the other families that were in the accident. But, this may help us move on and move past it. Although Kobe Bryant was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets before he got traded to Los Angeles, right? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this game tonight. A chance for the Knicks to get another victory. The last time we played the Charlotte Hornets, we lost by 1 point in a close game. See if we can get this one back, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe even start a winning streak. Who knows? Maybe we can start a winning streak. We're going to take a look at the schedule. We'll take a look. We'll talk a little bit about Malik Monk. I see somebody in the chat just talked about Malik Monk. Yes, Malik Monk. We'll talk about that too. All right. So let's get this thing popping and on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're having a good day at work, a peaceful day at work. Don't get in any trouble. Can't afford to have anybody losing their jobs and all that stuff. I need you guys taking care of your families and all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get down to business here. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets, the New York Knicks versus the Charlotte Hornets tonight, 7 p.m. in Charlotte. Let's rock. That's the Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight at 7 p.m., the New York Knicks will face off versus the Charlotte Hornets at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can check it out on your local television station. That's MSG. You can also check it out on 98.5. If you're not in New York and you don't have those two things, you don't have access there, you got the league pass or you got something. And if you're in Charlotte, you're a Knicks fan that's in Charlotte, well, you can catch it on the local stations there. The interim head coach for the New York Knicks is Mike Miller. The projected starters for the night are for Peyton at point guard, Reggie Bullock at shooting guard, Marcus Morris at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Taj Gibson at center. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are projected, which means they could change at any time that the Knicks PR team decides to drop a link, say that there's something different, then it could change. All right, an update on R.J. Barrett, because R.J. Barrett is still out with an ankle injury. He continues to make progress. This is from the Knicks PR team. R.J. Barrett continues to make progress from a sprained right ankle. He transitioned from crutches to a walking boot, and he'll be reevaluated in 1 week. Now, that was on the 25th, so sometime next week, R.J. Barrett will be reevaluated. All right, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, Reggie Bullock is starting point guard, and it looks like Damian Dotson is probably the backup. For the Charlotte Hornets, the head coach is James Borrego. The projected starters for the Hornets are Terry Rozier at point guard, Devontae Graham at shooting guard, Nicholas Batum at small forward, and P.J. Washington at power forward. You got Cody Zeller at center. At the moment, there are no injuries for the Charlotte Hornets. We're going to talk about some of these guys because Devontae Graham killed this last game. The last time we played the Hornets, he killed us for 29 points. I think he hit the game winner. P.J. Washington, he hurt us inside a little bit. So we're gonna have to step up. I want to get this win. Charlotte Hornets haven't been playing well lately, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, the Hornets are on an 8-game losing streak. They're 15-31 on the season. The Knicks are 13-34. They won their last game. They just defeated the Brooklyn Nets. I was there. Some of you were there with me. I'm pretty sure everybody else watched it on television. Looking at the team comparison, the Knicks are averaging 104.3 points per game. They're giving up 111.8 points per game. They shoot 43.7% from the field, and they shoot 33.8% from three. They're averaging 46.2 rebounds per game, 21.2 assists per game, and 14.1 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 104.8. That's 28th in the league. And their defensive rating is 112.3. That's 24th in the league. As for the Charlotte Hornets, they're averaging 103.3 points per game. They give up 110.6 points per game. Very similar to the New York Knicks right now. They shoot 43.3% from the field. And they shoot 35.4% from three. They average 42.5 rebounds per game, 23.9 assists per game, and 15 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 105.6. That's 24th in the league. And their defensive rating is 113.1. That's 27th in the league. For all intents and purposes, what we're looking at right now says that these two teams should be fairly even. And we've seen that in the first game. Charlotte won by 1 point over the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden in the first game. And so the teams are fairly even for the season. The last 5 games tells a little bit of a different story between these two teams. When we look at the last 5 games, the Knicks record is 2-3. The Charlotte Hornets record is 0-5. Again, they're on an 8-game losing streak. Over the last 5 games, the Knicks are actually outscoring their opponents over the last 5 games because their defense has stepped up. The Knicks' defense has been pristine. It's been pretty good. It's been really good over the last 5 games, last week or so. The Knicks are averaging 101.4 points per game. That's still not great, and we'd like to see them average more points, but we'll take what we can get right now. They're averaging 101.4 points per game. Opponents are averaging 98.2 points per game. Over the last 5 games, the Knicks are holding opponents under 100 points. And let's not forget, 2 of those games were against the Los Angeles Lakers and the Toronto Raptors. Now, both of those teams scored more than 100 points. But the Knicks still played very well defensively. Opponents, the Knicks are shooting 46.3% from the field over this time period. They're shooting 32.8% from three. We need to get that up because we can't shoot the three and we can't guard the three. I think Nate said that the other night. Can't shoot the three, we can't guard the three. That equals a problem for us. All right, but we're shooting 32.8% from three over the last 5 games. We're averaging 47.6 rebounds per game, 21.2 assists per game, and we're averaging 14.4 turnovers per game. Our offensive rating over the last 5 games is 107.9. That's 22nd in the league. And our defensive rating is 104.5. That's 4th in the league. 4th in the league, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 5 games. When we started this season, one of the things that we said, or one of the things that the Knicks said, is that they wanted to be a defensive team. They wanted to have a defensive mindset. They wanted their identity to be defense. Now, at the moment in time, it looks like it's happening. We'll see if it can last, but it looks like it's happening. Whatever they've done, it's working. Now, the question still remains, do we continue to play the guys that's on the floor? And if we do continue to play, will the defense continue? And if we do not continue to play these guys, will the defense falter? And which do you prefer? That's the question. Because the defense is coming around. The Charlotte Hornets, their record is 0-5 in the last 5 games. They're averaging 95.2 points per game. They're giving up 107.4. They shoot 40.6% from the field, and they shoot 34.4% from three. They're averaging 39.8 rebounds per game and 24.4 assists per game. They're also averaging 14 turnovers per game. The offensive rating over the last 5 games is 100. That's 30th in the league, last in the league. And their defensive rating is 113.1. That's 21st in the league. So these are 2 teams, while their records are similar and their overall numbers are similar, Over the last 5 games, the last week or so, the Knicks are playing better than the Charlotte Hornets. The Knicks defense is one of the top defenses in the league over the past few games. And it's not like they've played only slouches. Okay? You know, they've played good teams. And their defense is still playing well. They're still playing well. Let's take a look at some of the key matchups. First key matchup, Devontae Graham and Reggie Bullock. Of course, Reggie Bullock has the size advantage on Devontae Graham. And no, Reggie Bullock is not a point guard, ladies and gentlemen. He is a shooting guard. So we'll make sure we get that changed. I don't want you thinking the wrong thing. Anybody who's new here, either you think I'm crazy or you think Reggie Bullock is a point guard. Now, I don't want you going out telling people that Reggie Bullock is a point guard and then they tell you, no, you're nuts. So, no, he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. He's 6'6", 205 pounds. Devontae Graham is 6'1", 195 pounds. He's a guard, shooting guard, point guard, combo guard, whatever you want to call him. He's small, though. Devontae Graham is averaging 18.6 points per game. He's also averaging 3.7 rebounds per game and 7.6 assists per game. And he's just under 1 steal per game. That's Devontae Graham, ladies and gentlemen. He's a low percentage shooter. He shoots 37.8% from the field, but he shoots 38.7% from 3. That's where the problem lies for the Knicks, though. And that's where the problem lies in guarding Devontae Graham. Now, we know that Reggie Bullock is a good defender. Right? And we know that Elfrid Payton is a decent defender. We're going to talk about Terry Rozier as well. Because both of those guys, it's just like playing, I don't know who we played a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago, and they had a diminutive backcourt. See, that's what I get for trying to be Clyde Frazier. Can't even pronounce the word. They got a small backcourt. We need to take advantage of that. We're going to talk about that. All right, again, Devontae Graham had 29 points. He hit 9 threes against us in the last game. 9 threes, and he hit the game winner with 2.8 seconds left on the clock. So we got to make sure that we get a hold of this guy. We play defense on this guy. All right, and Reggie Bullock, last time we played them, Reggie Bullock was not playing, so there's a difference. Reggie Bullock, he's averaging 10.1 points per game. 2.2 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists per game, and 1.4 steals per game. He's shooting 42.3% from the field and 34.4% from 3. All right. Now, we're not asking Reggie Bullock to go out and score a bunch of points. We're asking Reggie Bullock to play defense on Devontae Graham and not let him go out and get 29 points on us. Devontae Graham, 29 points. He was 10 for 19 from the field. He was 9 for 16 from 3. Cannot let that happen. P.J. Washington, we'll talk about him. He hurt us inside. He had 19 points, 5 rebounds, but he was 1 for 2 from the three-point line. He shot 77.8% from the field overall. We'll get to that, though. Right now, let's talk about Terry Rozier, because he's the next guard. He's also diminutive. He's small. How about that? I'll just say that. He's small. Terry Rozier is 6'1", 190. Elfrid Payton is going to be matched up against him. Terry Rozier averages 17.8 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 1.2 steals per game. He shoots 42% from the field, and he also shoots 39.6% from 3. That's another guy. You do not want to let him get off from 3. So we need Elfrid Payton to be on his P's and Q's to make sure he doesn't get off. All right, those are the 2 leading scorers. Elfrid Payton, he's 6'3", 195 point guard. He's averaging 8.7 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.4 steals. He shoots 41.7% from the field and 23.5% from 3. All right, but his job is going to be to defend Terry Rozier, make it a little bit tough on Terry Rozier. All right, go at him a little bit. Make Terry Rozier have to work. Don't make it so easy. But we can't let Terry Rozier or Devontae Graham get loose from 3. The last time we played the Charlotte Hornets, Terry Rozier, he had 16 points. He only had 2 assists. He only shot 37.5% from the field, and he was 1 for 7 from the three-point line. Okay, so he may be looking for getbacks. He's going to remember that game. And it doesn't mean that he's going to come out and kill us, but we don't want it to happen. But there's an X factor, ladies and gentlemen, to this game. Got to be careful of it. I seen somebody say it in the chat just a few minutes ago. That X factor is Malik Monk. Got to watch out for him. He's been hot over the last 2 games. The last 2 games, he's averaging 25.5 points per game, and he's shooting 60% from the field. Right, his last game, he had 31 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. So he's starting to get hot. Who knows if he's turned the corner or not? And, of course, there were talks about Malik Monk being traded to the New York Knicks. The Knicks have an interest in Malik Monk. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is his chance to showcase. If that's the truth, this is his chance to showcase himself to the Knicks. And if he comes out and has a game and terrorizes the Knicks a little bit, that may pique their interest just a little bit more. You know, again, Malik Monk. He's averaging 25.5 points per game, and he's shooting 60% from the field over the last 2 games. He is the X factor. And big shout out to my wife, Kathy, who gave me a birthday shout out. Thank you for the super chat. And yes, it is my birthday today. So thank you all. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But again, Malik Monk is the X factor coming into this game. You know, we don't want him to get off. All right, we don't want him to get off at all. We want Malik Monk to be quieted. Don't let him show off in front of a team that might want him. Guillermo, you said Malik Monk is fool's gold. If it takes almost getting traded or about to get traded for you to step up despite having the opportunity to always do so, I think it's hogwash. You might be right. You might be right about that. You know what I'm saying? But let's see if he shows off tonight. He might want to be in New York. I don't know. But we don't want to let him show off. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to let him show off. Again, Malik Monk, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 2 games, he's averaging 25.5 points per game, and he's shooting 60% from the field. He had 31 his last game versus the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, so let's not let Malik Monk get loose tonight. As for the keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some of the keys to the game. All right, the keys to the game tonight. The first one is let's handle our emotions. Of course, we're still coming off of, you know, everything that happened with Kobe Bryant and the rest of the families that were in that horrific helicopter accident. You know, and there are people on the team like Julius Randle, you know, that were close to Kobe Bryant. Julius Randle played with Kobe Bryant. And I'm sure there's other players on the team that are close to Kobe Bryant. Right, so their emotions, they still might be, we still might be in, they still might be like the rest of us in a state of shock and, you know, have some feelings about the game. You know what I mean? So we got to be able to handle our emotions coming into the game. You know, that's the thing. Let's handle our emotions. You know, and try to approach the game, just approach the game with as much energy as you can. Of course, there's going to be talks about Kobe Bryant. You know, he was drafted to the Charlotte Hornets and then he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. There may be talks about that, you know, coming into the game, stuff like that. And players are going to be asked questions before the game and everything. You know, Mike Miller and the rest of the coaching staff, they're going to have their hands full and trying to, you know, just motivate the guys to step into the game and play well. You know, and play with some energy. So, you know, they got to handle their emotions. It's not going to be easy to do. As far as the game itself, we got to keep Rozier and Graham shooting a low percentage from the field. Perimeter defense. I think I just seen Guillermo let's talk about perimeter defense. Right? Yes, we have to guard them from the perimeter. We have to guard those 2 guys, Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. We got to guard those guys, not let those guys get loose. And then, of course, like we said, the X factor, Malik Monk, not let Malik Monk get loose. All right, he's on a 2-game tear, if that's what you want to call it. He's probably looking to eat tonight. And so we gotta guard that perimeter. Do a good job guarding the perimeter. We gotta guard the three ball, right? Terry Rozier, he shoots 40% from the field from three. Devontae Graham, he shoots 38.7% from three. And so we don't want to let these guys get off. Like I said, the last game we played, the Charlotte Hornets, Devontae Graham, he got off on us, ladies and gentlemen. Right? He shot 56.2% from three. And it's not like he shot like three-point shots. He shot 16. He made 16 attempts. He made 9 of them. All right, he was the guy for them. He was cooking. Small, though. Small dude. All right, he was 10 for 19 from the field, 9 for 16 from three. So we got to make sure. Look, he had 9. He had 10 field goals made. 9 of them were from the three-point line. We got to make sure we guard the three-point line. Don't let these guys get loose from the three-point line because 2 of those guys can do it. Dominate the glass. We should definitely dominate the glass tonight. These guys are averaging over the last 5 games like 39 rebounds a game. We average 47. Both teams are not good shooting teams. So rebounds are going to be plentiful, and we've got to grab them. Let's not allow second chance points, and let's get second chance points. Okay? We got to dominate the glass. When you're playing against a team, when you're a team that can't shoot, and you're playing against a team that can't shoot, you better be able to rebound the basketball. So let's dominate the glass tonight. Let's take advantage of size. You know, we got some size against these guys. And we got a little bit more beef than them, a little bit more. Just a little bit more beef than them. So we got to take advantage of that. And, of course, we got size at that guard position. All right, so let's take advantage of our size. And lastly, but clearly not least, we've got to continue to work on our spacing. You know, continue to learn how to space the floor. Now, that doesn't all happen in one game. Doesn't all happen in one season. You know what I mean? But you got to continue to learn how to space that floor. All right, space the floor. That's going to help you to get easier shots, better shots from the field. You know, maybe we could shoot a better percentage. But let's not forget, the Knicks are shooting about 47% over the last 5 games. They're shooting like 47% from the field over the last 5 games. So, you know, maybe the Knicks are there. Maybe they are working on that spacing. Again, over the last 5 games, the Knicks are 2-3. They're averaging 101.4 points per game. They're giving up 98.2 points per game. They're shooting 46.3% from the field. I said 47. It's 46.3. They're shooting 32.8% from three. They're grabbing 47 rebounds, 21 assists, 14 turnovers. All right, so let's keep that shooting percentage up. You know, that's the goal. Keep that shooting percentage up. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to the guys in the video chat. If you want to call in, I got a couple of minutes. You can call in and talk to me about tonight's game. And what do you think? You know, big shout out to Maurice Hardy. Thank you for becoming a member. Became a 2000s Knick member, I believe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And everyone wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you very much, especially to my wife. All right, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Let's get to the video chat. See what these guys think about tonight's game. See who we got in here. We got Nate. We got Andy. And let's get it, man. Let me start with Andy. Andy, how you feel about tonight's game, man?
Yeah, what's up, Sim? Firstly, you know, happy birthday, man. I would sing, but I don't think you could. Maybe YouTube would take it off, so we're not.
Yeah,
going
they
to
might not appreciate it. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. 44 years old today.
You know what? I think it's a winnable game. And, you know, I rarely say it because I don't expect wins from a team like the Knicks. But actually, about the Nets game, I was thinking about a W, and I think we can go on a streak. Probably not going to be a long streak, but I think we can handle the Hornets. Like Guillermo said, I think we need to take care of Graham, Rozier, and PG Washington. Those are the main guys on the offensive end. We can live with the other guys, you know, scoring, because even the bench guys, I don't think they're a threat that they can score like 40 or 50 points on us. So we can live with the other guys. And the key is going to be the rebounding. They got the Bruiser, they got Zeller, they got Willie that can, you know, rebound fairly well, but I think our guys can handle really, them really good. So
Yeah. And we should be able to handle them on the boards. Hopefully, we can handle them on the boards, and then defending that perimeter is going to be key. Like you said, the Knicks, they're in a little bit of a position where maybe they can win a few games in a row. We play the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Then we come home and play Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Then we play the Pacers on February 1st. That's Saturday. Then we play the Cleveland Cavaliers again. We play the Orlando Magic. We play the Pistons. We play the Hawks. We play the Wizards. Then we go back and we play the Pacers and the Rockets.
yeah.
All right, so
and Tim, just to add, I think the game the Knicks are playing now, the basketball, is really different from what we've seen at the beginning of the season. You mentioned a couple of the previews. You mentioned the last 5 game stats on the defensive rating and stuff like that. You can really see it and feel it in the games. So we stick with the best of the teams in the NBA. They're not blowouts, so it's really we can take a loss with the Lakers, with the Raptors for a couple of points, right? It isn't like it was a over 30-point loss and then the game was over in the second quarter. So if we would be playing this kind of basketball, I think we might be near 500 if it would be from the beginning. And I think if it would be even better if Miller was the coach through the off season, not only because he can implement more of his stuff, but you can even notice it in the last couple of games, maybe like even over 5 last games. You can really notice the difference in the Knicks, come up with the games. So I'm getting more happy, watching these games than losing or winning, in a blowout. Those close games make me happy, and when we're going to learn how to pull them out, it's going to be fine. I hope just that the trade deadline is not going to mess this roster up. So
yeah, definitely. Nate, I'm coming to you, Nate. I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna keep you live, Andy. Go ahead, Nate.
Happy 21st birthday.
21st, huh? More like 44th, but
Hey man, who's counting? We all stop at 21.
I'm counting. I'm counting because I'm getting older.
Yeah, big
I
ups,
appreciate
man.
it, man.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, like Andy said, man, I think this game is definitely winnable. You made a great point about how the offense for the Hornets is dead last or near dead last. So if the Knicks play even decent defense, they should win this going away. I mean, I haven't seen the Hornets play a lot this year, but I would imagine that if the Knicks just come out and play focused and play good defense, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. All right. We'll see what they do. Emotion for both teams. Emotions, going to be high still. So that's definitely going to have an effect on the game. So we'll see if both teams how they can come through it and fight through it. And like I said, Charlotte was the first that Charlotte drafted Kobe.
Right.
And then traded him to the Lakers for Vlade Divac.
Yeah. And I'm sure Jordan's gonna have something special for Kobe, because he's very close. He was very close to Kobe. He said he look at him like a little brother. So
yeah.
I think the one guy that they're gonna have to be real cognizant of, like you said, is Devontae Graham. He did hit that game-winning shot in the Garden, and that was actually on Ntilikina, one of our better defenders. Ntilikina, I think, went under the screen, and Devontae Graham got space and knocked it down.
Right. And the thing is, that shot was totally preventable.
Yeah.
That was totally preventable. It was a bad play by Ntilikina.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go to help. Right? He didn't go to double team. He kind of got faked a little bit, or misjudged where that screen was going to come from, or not. Or where Devontae Graham was going, and then lost him. They kicked it to him and knocked down the three. I mean, it was a nice designed play by the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously RJ Barrett was playing in that game. The Knicks defense wasn't as good as it is now, or at least over the last few games. last 5 games, last week, 2 weeks is not as good as it is now. And we didn't have the same players then. I don't think Elfrid Payton was playing, and we didn't have Reggie Bullock. So, the team is definitely different. R.J. Barrett was playing that game. He's not playing tonight. But the team was definitely different.
Yeah, I think the size of the Knicks is going to be a huge advantage over the Hornets because, like you mentioned, their backcourt for the Hornets is like, Devontae's like 6'1" or something like that, and Rozier's probably 6'2", something like that.
Yeah, Rozier is like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". I think they're both small.
So the advantage is going to be on the Knicks as far as rebounding and scoring inside because that's what we do well. I mean, everybody knows we don't shoot the three well. So if we could just defend the three, I think we'll be okay because I don't think their bigs are that good enough to score in the paint at a high rate. So this is going to be one of those games that if we dominate inside and we guard the three, like I said, we should win going away. I hope it's not a close game, but who knows? It's the Knicks.
Yeah, we'll see. Right, exactly. Who knows? It's the Knicks. You never know what the Knicks are going to do, man. You never know what the Knicks are going to do. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Looking at that game-winning shot by Devontae Graham against the Knicks on November 16th. That was around the time when a lot of people still had hope, right? Everybody still had hope, and you see it right here. Ntilikina tries to hedge off Devontae Graham, and Devontae Graham bangs it in, ladies and gentlemen. And it was painful, to say the least, for the Knicks. Because
one of our worst losses of the year.
Yeah, one of those games that that we could have won, but didn't because of a mental mistake that is not uncommon for the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? Not uncommon for the New York Knicks to make those type of mental mistakes, but
bad
hopefully
teams
defensively.
Find ways to lose, man. Remember that.
What'd you say?
Bad teams find ways to lose.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Well, hopefully we find a way to get this win.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask you guys this: if the Knicks continue to play this type of defense, and we hit a little bit of a winning streak, let's say. Again, we play the Charlotte Hornets, we play the Memphis Grizzlies. We play the Hornets tonight. Tomorrow night we play the Memphis Grizzlies. Saturday we play the Pacers. Monday we play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thursday we play the Orlando Magic. Okay, these are games that when you talk about the Hornets, the Grizzlies, we played the Pacers close the first time we played them. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Orlando Magic, the Pistons, the Hawks, the Wizards. I mean, those are some winnable, very, very winnable games. Right? We can start to streak together some wins. Obviously, you're playing against bad teams. But let's just say that the Knicks, they're going to drop a couple. Let's say they start to win some games. Right? And then maybe they beat the Indiana Pacers one of these 2 games that they play against them in the next few weeks. Then they go back and they play the Hornets again, Philadelphia, Chicago, Houston. Then the schedule starts to get a little bit tougher as we move into March. Right? But let's just say that Knicks continue to play good defense and you start to see the offense come around a little bit. Do you feel the same way about this roster? And do you take a chance at them trying to be better in for the 2020, 2021 season? Of course, you're going to make some tweaks here and there, and some people are going to be gone. What do you do? If you start to see that defense come around and that becomes their identity, do you change it?
Well, Sim, if it would be, up to me, we still got over a week to go to the trade deadline, right? And even if we would be playing this kind of basketball, which is, way better than at the beginning, I think we can go maximum of our rest of the games is like 500. And I think it's even below that. But let's say it's going to be 500, right? So we still probably not going to make the playoffs. We might be closer, but I don't think we're gonna get in the playoffs. But I'm against tanking, of course. So if I was Perry or Mills, I try to flip a guy or 2 at the deadline. It's going to have to open minutes for the young guys. But, the most thing I'm also maybe not mad, but I'm disappointed in Miller about the rotations. He's putting like all the vets and all the, young guys together in fives, right? That's a huge mistake for me because if you would, or keep a starter with the young guys that come from the bench, and he's using like Portis as the vet for the bench guys, right? So that's a really, if they're clicking, it's fine, but most time it's not working out pretty well for us. So he has to, go back with the first unit. So if he would stagger those minutes between the young guys and the old guys, like leave two vets and play three young guys, that would be more beneficial, I think, for the young guys. And as you said, I don't think we're going to win a championship this year. So it's not a waste of wins because I think you got to build that winning culture. But it's and for sure they're not going to be tanking or trying only to develop guys. I think Miller will really want to get a couple of more W's under his belt, maybe, to get a chance of that head coaching job for the next season.
Right. So what do you do though? If they stay playing this type of defense for the remainder of the season, they're 13-34 right now. All right, that's 47 games. There's still a lot of games left. There's still 34 games left to the season. Right? If they continue to play this type of defense, playing tough defense, that's the kind of identity that you want to establish. Right?
Yeah.
Are you afraid then to get rid of everybody and start over?
No, I don't know why you guys were thinking that Morris is a certain flip, for a pick or something like that. And I don't understand your guys, positivity that he would come back in the off season. That for me, that's not possible. And I don't care if you can set up a plan with him. If he's gonna go, to a better team, take that better organization, the winning culture, he's not gonna come back, man. I don't. Maybe if you would, throw money, like $5 million per year more than the rest of the teams, maybe. But I'm not thinking that you can plan out that he's going to be flipped now for a pick and then he's going to come back next season.
Oh, that's not going to happen. That's not happening. That is not happening.
Because I heard someone said, that version that we can flip him and he's going to come back in the offseason. That's not going to happen for me.
That's not going to happen.
So yeah, but to be true, I would rather flip a guy like Portis and Ellington and Dennis Smith, for example. Those three are the most movable guys for me. Like the most movable because I could live without him. Let's say it that way. But I'd keep Bullock. I like Bullock's game. He's a team guy. Sometimes he takes those shots, but they're still good shots. They're better shots than Randall takes them. For Randall, I'm always mixed on because I hate his shots. The most of the shots he takes, it just hurts me when I see those shots because I really see that they could get a better shot off. Maybe from a worse shooter and stuff like that, but an open shot from a worse shooter is for me is better than a chucked up one or a fadeaway or a spin move in the traffic in the paint like he does. But he can also score, and we saw the last couple of games that he can defend if he wants.
Yes,
he got those strips, he got those blocks. I don't know what was the stat. I think he has 9 blocks on the season, and like last 7 games he has those 9 blocks. So it's if he really wants to defend, he has that ability. Just I don't know what Miller has to do, but he got to get the defense out of him.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times it's part of just the entire team playing defense better, and when everyone is playing defense better, it makes everyone say, "I got to step up too." Right? I don't want to be I don't want to be the one that's left out. What I mean?
And that's him why Morris is important. I think he's a guy that sometimes of course he's going to take that 1-2 shots too much, right? He's going to get those heat checks and stuff like that. But most of his shots, even if he's defended, he's squared up until the basket. He sees the basket, not I feel his shot is better than Randall's shot. That's why I feel more confident with him taking those
Yeah.
late game shots than Randall, right?
Yeah, he
And
takes more control.
I think he's really important for the development of the young guys. He was on a couple of teams. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Morris takes
So I
more
think he's more
controlled
important even than
shots.
Randall. But if you gotta stay, I would keep both of the guys and go out with Portis, Ellington, and Dennis Smith.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Morris takes more controlled shots than Randall. Like his shots
Yeah.
look under control. Where Randall, his shots they hardly ever look under control. He gets to the basket and he double pumps and moves the ball around. He jumps in the air when he passes out of the double team, and that's a big no for anybody going into the basket to jump in the air and pass. There's a lot of those things that are just you don't really want, which makes him not a number one guy or two, probably a three or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because Emmanuel C in the chat said, he doesn't expect that. He expects, for the most part, this team to come back next year. Besides a few changes, a few minor changes here and there, like maybe a Bobby Portis and Wayne Ellington not coming back, and some other players in those places. And I could see that as well. I could see that happening because, look, when we talk about the trade deadline, let's be honest. The Knicks say that they're not going to take on cash, right? They're not going to take on salary past 2021, right? And they probably don't want to take on salary at all. They're not going to move first-round draft picks. They're not going to move any valuable young pieces. So with that being said, what's that mean? That means there's nothing happening because that's everything that you got to move. That's everything you got to bargain with, right? That everything that you have to bargain with, that's that there. So if they're not moving those things, then there's nothing going to be happening at trade deadline for the most part. So maybe there are some little things that happen there, here and there. Then we'll see after the trade deadline who's waived and stuff like that. Now they may, and people will go crazy, but they may wait until the draft, to move some of these players because I believe I haven't had the time to really check the CBA to make sure I'm correct, but I believe because players like Bobby Portis, who has a team option for next season, and other players that have an option for next season, they can still be traded during the draft. Yeah. So after the trade deadline next week, if you don't see these guys get waived, it could just be that they're waiting to the draft to see if they could package something together. You never know. And it would only be smart waiting to the draft because you have until June 28th to waive these guys, and then they wouldn't be on the team for next season. So it would be smart to wait until the draft, see if something presents itself and they'd be filler and stuff like that. So don't be surprised that those guys aren't moved right away at the trade deadline or waived after the trade deadline. Nate, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Outside of the fan base, I mean, the Knicks don't have to do anything. I mean, we already know that the instability of the front office. I mean, you've said it many times. I've said it. They don't need to make any moves. I think the move that they made that people wanted was the Kenny Wooten to the two-way deal. So he's locked up at least on our side. So we don't have to worry about other teams trying to get him. I personally don't think that outside of Morris, any of these players hold any value right now. I'm just being completely honest with you. I think all these teams that are so-called interested in some of these players, I think is all smoke. Maybe from their agent or whatever to beef them up or whatever it is. I just don't see it. I don't see teams just giving up a second-round pick just for these. Huh? What were you saying? Is there some?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. No, sorry. Yeah, I just don't see him giving up a second-round pick because we all know the value of a second-round pick nowadays. The only one that could possibly dangle a first-round pick would be Morris because Morris is playing very well this year, and he's a good player, a good defender, stuff like that. So he could definitely help out a contender
Yeah.
For sure.
Looks like Nate is breaking up on us. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be. We got about a week until the trade deadline is done, or 10 days, or something like that, until we get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 10 days till we get to that trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see what happens. A lot of talks right now may be on hold given the tragic situation with Kobe Bryant. So a lot of things may be on hold, but we'll see. We'll see what happens from there, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get on out of here. Let you guys get back to work. That's our game preview for tonight's game versus the Charlotte Hornets. And, yeah. Andy, any last words you want to get in there?
No, man. I'm hoping for a win. And one more time, happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And Nate? Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, man. Let's go get a win. Let's go get a win, man. Like you said, you read the schedule out. There's a lot of winnable games. I mean, I would argue if the Knicks continue to play defense at this high rate, hell, they could win all those games. I really do believe. So, let's do it.
All
see
right,
what happens.
We'll see what happens. All right, Nate. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And enjoy the rest of your day at work, folks. All right? And I'll catch you tonight after the game. Peace.
That's the deal.